What's up, Super Fiends? It's I with a boat, and today we have a set 2 spoiler, and we also have market calls in today's video. And I wanted to give a reaction to what I think is going to be the best next character coming into set 2 Crimson Rampage and MHA CCG, and that is Tenya Iida 3. This is the third iteration of Tenya Iida, and I think that this is the best character. I think this is going to win the entire set, the entire meta, where all we're going to see is a bunch of Tenya Iida's next set. Even though there are more spoilers to be coming, and we're going to make more videos about different support coming out for Crimson Rampage, so be on the lookout for that. I think that this is the best character. Do I actually know that? I don't. But I still think this character is really tight, and it is, in my opinion, from all the characters that I've seen in the sport, I regard this as the most competitive one. So that's why this is going to be the first video that we do for these types of videos, and let's get into it. So Tenya Iida is a 7 hand size, 20 health character, and we have the symbols of air, order, and void. Now I'm going to read off the abilities, and there is a typo into this little banner thing. So the correct wording of Tenya Iida is going to be on the character card. So look at the character card and don't look at the text that was made into the graphic. The text made into the graphic, that's not correct. So let's read the character card. And this was already officially announced. So response: after you play an EX ability, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Note that this can be used at any point in time that you play an EX ability, and you can use this multiple times during the turn, as long as Tenya Iida is not committed or sealed. Which we don't have an ability that seals characters yet, but if there is or not, I don't know, but you know. So second ability, enhance once per turn, ready 1 foundation with a printed difficulty of 1 or less. And note that you can use this on your turn and your opponent's turn. So you're effectively readying 2 foundations between you and your opponent's turn, which is really neat. That's a +2. So you're getting a +2 with the character card. And the reason why I think this is the most busted character, and I think it's going to be competing with Kirishima and competing with Jiro and whoever else you might think is the best character in the current format, is I think that if you can replenish all of your EX with all the cards that are out right now and such and so forth, I think that it is going to be impossible to block Tenya Iida. And I think that there is a lot of damage going on, and the fact that you can buff a certain amount of speed and activate EX is just ridiculous to me. And I think that the first Tenya Iida iteration from set 1, I think that card is an A tier card. I think it's a great character, A tier, but I think this one is S tier. So why wouldn't you just play the S tier character, right? So let's go ahead and look into the other card spoiled behind it. Falling Thruster Kick. It is a 4 difficulty, 2 high for 4, and it has EX3, kick, combo, EX, and combo enhance. This attack gets +3 damage. So effectively, if you have an EX card in front of it, which Tenya Iida has a bunch of different EX cards, you can get +3 damage to this attack, making it into a 2 high for 7 at least. If you have the EX card in front, but also if you have a momentum, you can pitch a momentum to make it into a 5 high for 7. A 5 high for 7 for a 4 diff is like really huge, really difficult to block, big chip damage. Like, there's nothing that you can't love about this card. And it's ridiculous to me that, you know, you're paying a cost and then just being able to replenish it with a character card. That's really strong. That makes total sense with the design of Tenya Iida's character card, which is going fast and not stopping. So I think that they did a really good job with the theme and design, but I think it is going to be very powerful to the point where it's S tier. You know, I'm not trying to say like it's unhealthy, but what I'm trying to say is I think this is the character you're going to be wanting to look out for next set. All right, next card is, we're going to start looking at market calls. So I pulled up 2 different cards, and I'll let you guys try to think of it, what it is before I pull it up. But these 2 cards are what I feel are going to be played in the next set of Tenya Iida, where I think he's going to reign supreme, becoming S tier and beating out all the Kirishimas and whoever else. And the first card is Recipro Burst. So Recipro Burst is notorious for being one of the best game enders, finishers in the current set, because Recipro Burst has the ability to gain a bunch of damage and speed, and pretty much every character can play this. But the characters that usually play this are the ones that have something to do with speed or damage, and then being able to fuel the other side of it. Because generally when you're throwing a Recipro Burst, you're throwing not only speed, but you're also throwing damage, and vice versa. So that's why you'll see characters like Tenya Iida give speed, and he plays Recipro Burst. Eraserhead deals with speed, plays Recipro Burst. Ojiro deals with damage, plays Recipro Burst. So you have these character cards that either deal one or the other, and that's why Recipro Burst is played in them, is because it is such a strong finisher, and any character that can already give it the speed or damage is just going to make it much more lethal, much more frightening for your opponent to play against, and it's going to close out the games. The stats are also just insanely good. And with Tenya Iida 3-dot coming into Crimson Rampage, this card has EX3 and you get to replace the momentum. So that means that at face value with this card, Recipro Burst, you can discard one momentum, give it EX3, replace the momentum, and then discard one momentum at the bottom enhance to give the attack +3 damage. At least. That's at least. You're probably going to give it +4 because you're going to do the stun one and then give it, a speed with the responsibility. But that's just the thing, At that point, at the lowest, if you have at least one momentum, that turns this attack into a a 7 low for 9 damage at least. So that's insane, and that's just with one momentum. So let's get to the next card, Recipro Acceleration Kick, which is exactly what I think is missing from Iida, and that's being able to get what we call snap momentum. So what is snap momentum? Snap momentum is when you can get momentum in a snap in that turn. So with this card, it is Combo Kick, which is pretty much all of Tenya Iida's attacks and the attacks that you would want to play in him. Is what makes this card awesome is you can play a card like Recipro Extend, for example. Recipro Extend doesn't even have EX, but it's still a card that you want to play. And as long as you have any type of kick in front of Recipro Acceleration Kick, you can then use the Enhance. You may remove kick attacks from your card pool in addition to discarding momentum to pay for their attack's EX ability. So what you can do is use this ability to remove Recipro Extend from the card pool to pay for this attack's EX ability, and then you can respond with Tenya Iida 3-dot and add the actual momentum into your momentum zone, because you are paying for the attack, you activated EX, and now you can just stuff a momentum using Tenya 3-dot's ability. So yeah, this card is just very good, and I feel like because it's the only snap momentum that we have in the current set and card pool, I think that you can't really have enough of this. So going into set 2, they haven't shown all the cards yet, but I know for a fact that you could always use some snap momentum, no matter how many or how much you need. This is something that you just want. And what's nice is I know it has the 5 diff, and you have to play it on a 6, but remember our character card readies 2 foundations essentially, between your turn and your opponent's turn. It readies 2, and this is a 6 coming in as a 6 low for 6 against your opponent, and you're able to guarantee yourself momentum going in. Like, your turn 2 is going to look insane. And if you're playing cards that make you draw cards, such as like Recipro Extend, it's going to be very good for you to go into aggro, because like Recipro Extend in front of this turns the attack into an 8 low for 8. So you're just going to have a lot of times where the attack is just pretty much unblockable, and as long as you can find a way to balance out your deck and build it in a way where you're drawing cards, making sure that you're staying ahead in resources but also put out that big damage, I think that makes Tenya Iida 3 dot into an S tier character. So that's it for my reaction, and that's my market call. I think that Recipro Burst already being a great finisher and a great asset to Tenya 3 dot, and I think he's an S tier character. I think that card should be going up. You know, a lot of people can play Recipro Burst, and it is such a solid card. And the next card that I think is going to go up, or should go up, is Recipro Acceleration Kick. And the reason why you want this is because of the snap momentum, and just being able to draw this in your opening hand, or even drawing it to where, like, let's just say your opponent discarded all of your momentum, because there are cards out like that. There's cards out there that force your opponent to discard their momentum or all of their momentum, and if you have this as a solve all, this solves your problem of not having momentum because your opponent discarded it. So this allows 3 dot to even go further and beyond, and making sure to surpass plus ultra. So keep in mind of that. Take the video as is. Let me know what you think in the comments, and even maybe there's a character that you want me to do next from the spoilers. Just let me know, because there's going to be more content like this. So thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please remember to put a like, a subscribe, and maybe even a comment. Have a good one.